so special.
I'm telling y'all, in this faith, the only thing that you can do is try. You gotta apply these laws, statutes, and commandments with the faith of the Most High, Yahweh. I'm telling you, I tried. A mouth is hard to contain, the fake to point the blame. I got a 9 iron out to plug you, welcome to the range. Dry bones, hunger pains, pestilence and hurricanes. Niggas wanna entertain, the blind can't ascertain. The war's for your brain, wanna suit up, then come see me. Read John 8 and 32 and maybe we can be free. No hookups or freebies, Israelite rules on GP. Making the heathen flee, living the word is my destiny. I might get foul, throw the towel, where's the referee? Friends connect my Hennessy, you gassed off jealousy. Feminine tendencies, love affair with entity. These kites want our legacy and lied about equity. Rebel like the Maccabees, worldwide catastrophes. Pray when we face the east, the 7 crowns on the beast. Let my dogs at the least hit the word in the streets. I'm Mayweather with the word, all wins, no defeats. I try to stand tall from pillar to post, but I swear these things be doing the most. They be doing the most. I try to keep it real when everything's fake. Never fold, never break, I'll be a stand-up Jake. I try to avoid these stumbling blocks like potholes and scanning you niggas like barcodes. I try to keep it real when everything's fake. Never fold, never break, I'll be a stand-up Jake. As good as it gets, the Lord said it best. Yours is delayed and mine is expressed. My spirit is vexed. Hit the left and Van Ness, keep the law for success. I heard the word about Kemet and I wasn't impressed. Nevertheless, I keep my sword sharp. You love playing in the dark. Raiders of the Ark, Harrison Fords get torn apart. Why you wanna start a game that you can't win? A bunch of jokers, charlatans, and Harley Quinns. Melanated skin, holding the upper hand. Yerushalayim, the motherland, gird with the bands. Do as the Lord commands, and it's like the sands. 144 grand is how we seal the deal. It's no swine with the meal, elected like you're ill. Israel, how it feels, time to break the spell. Shouts to UZL, from the depths of hell. I'm doing life with Christ and I don't need no bail. I try to stand tall from pillar to post, but I swear these ain't be doing the most. They be doing the most. I try to keep it real when everything's fake. Never fold, never break, I'll be a stand-up Jake. I try to avoid these stumbling blocks like potholes and scanning you niggas like barcodes. I try to keep it real when everything's fake. Never fold, never break, I'll be a stand-up Jake.
Never fold, never break. Be a stand-up Jake. All praise to the Most High, Yahweh. It's your brother Ahmath. IQAhmath, first name. IQ is all the same. You reach another episode. DSTM. Don't shoot the messenger. You know what time it is. If you've been around, you've been picking up what I've been putting down. But if you've not, don't get too close because you might get shot. Shabbat shalom to the family, man. What's going on? Is everybody all right? Throw a 7 in the chat if you're feeling well on this blessed Sabbath. If you need prayers, throw that in there. Let it be known. We're here for all occasions. We're here for all occasions, not just the good, also the bad. Scripture said that we come together not for the better, but for the worse. So if you need a prayer, how about this? Send us your name or family member or what have you to the contact there, the covenant144@gmail.com, and we'll have them added to our prayer list. All right. We do have a prayer list. We send up prayers for multiple people every Shabbat. We come in unison, send up strong prayers for those in need. If you have some, you or someone you know, make sure you reach out to us. You add it on. The scripture says the fervent prayer of the righteous availeth much. Don't neglect that. All right. Other than that, pardon me. We salute the families in the house. All right, we got my brothers up there in the northwest. Shalom to y'all. Shemai in the house. Shalom to you, sis. Ashar in the house. Shalom. Rani Yah in the house. Shalom. Kohath in the house. Shalom. Shalom. Laquah in the house. Shalom. Rosemarie out there in London and the fam out there. Shalom to y'all. Shalak. Shalom to you. My good brother Hosea. What's going on? Shalom. The elder in the house. Shalom. Shalom. Look like we got some good 7s in the chat. All praises. Everybody's doing good. All right. If I missed you, Sister Catherine in the house, shalom to you. The house of Bayan, shalom, shalom. Shabbat shalom to everybody. And if you haven't tapped in through the chat, shalom to you. And if you haven't, caught the live when it's beginning, shalom to you. Shabbat shalom. All right. You see the title, man. Trump is declaring war on blacks and browns. That's a fact. That is a fact. It's time for brothers and sisters, man, to really peer through the window. Stop standing on the sidelines with your binoculars, acting like you ain't involved. You involved, whether you like it or not. War has been declared on the brown people in the earth. We say so-called black, so-called brown, because we know obviously we don't identify by color. However, if we look at the political spectrum and we see what's going on in the earth, this man that says that he's a president of peace has done the exact opposite when it comes down to blacks and browns. That's a stone cold fact. We're gonna look at it today, just in case somebody in the background on the small bus with the helmet on and the mouthpiece is saying, "I don't see that. He's a good guy. I love our president." Okay, put the buck teeth back in your mouth. Wipe that foam off. Stop being a crazed MAGA lunatic. Stop being a raccoon and recognize and see what's really going on. All right. We're gonna get right to it. I'm not gonna delay no longer. Let me share my screen so I can get some scriptures up for y'all, and we're gonna get right to the meat and potatoes, as they say. My screen sharing doesn't look like it. Hold on. Okay, so matter of fact, we're gonna ride with this thing, man. We just gonna get right to it. I'm gonna bring out scriptures as we go along. So I'm a little pressed for time. I want to try to consolidate my information, what I'm bringing to the table for everybody. Let's start off here. All right. We talked about it, and there's been the talk of the town all throughout America, all on the internet, news feeds, X posts, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. Everybody is concerned. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's making quote unquote content regarding the issue with Snap. Now we know that the Snap benefits, they was cut as of November 1st, right? Everybody was saying, Negroes is out there making their TikTok videos, bluffing and lying. You know how big mouth Negroes always, we coming out there, I'm stealing every damn thing. Notice, like I said before, Jake is not gonna go out there and do all that. There's people that are being motivated by TikTok views and everything else, making these videos, proposing themselves to be the face of the damn EBT card, even though the so-called whites are the majority of beneficiaries of getting SNAP, but somehow the damn black woman becomes the poster child of it. And you know that's politicized, that's been weaponized, and that's why it's been being used as a weapon on the minds of our people. Notice nothing happened, right? And even outside of that, the couple of little instances that did happen is nothing out of the ordinary. Like we said before, during the time of COVID, all of those flash mobs that was happening. Remember all that? They was smashing and grabbing, snatching and grabbing, and they had to shut down Walgreens, CVS's all up north, in Oakland, all across the country. 7-Elevens was getting ramshackled by young cats, man. Convenience stores was getting ramshacked. People was running in. They was having organized mobs. They was doing on Facebook. So let's not act like, if there was a Snap EBT outbreak of zombies, that we ain't seen that before. The internet was trying to make it be something to where blacks could be looked at as the criminals that everybody needs to watch out for. Hide your kids, hide your wives, grab your shopping carts, put your groceries underneath your under lock and key. Because them stinky niggas in the sticks, man. They coming for your food. The zombies just Notice we didn't see that, right? However, last week we seen that the Supreme Court put their foot down and said, hey, you got to release some emergency funds. You got to go ahead and give That emergency stash, that $5 billion, you got to give it up. Help these starving families and these children out here. And at first, Trump acquiesced. He said, oh, damn, I didn't know I had to do that. That money is supposed to be for emergencies. If it's a flood, if it's a hurricane, if it's, earthquake happens, that's what that's for. We're not supposed to be giving it to people who can't rule their households. So he put up a little fight. And then he said, all right, fine, I'm going to do it. And guess what? A little bit of money went out. November, certain states got partial funding. They didn't get it all. Mind you, this whole $5 billion, that is a partial payment. We talked about it last week. The total normal budget that goes out is between $8 and $9 million a month. $5 billion wasn't even going to be able to substantiate food on the table for everybody, even in that measure. But it was a stopgap. It was something they said, hey, it's something. Well, guess what? 7 days after that, man, Trump appeals and said, I ain't even giving that. I'm not even giving that $5 billion. How about that? I don't agree with it. So this is why when man.
We are now staring into the face of a record 38-day government shutdown. We have a live look at the Capitol where Senate Republicans.
Now, mind you, they said that this is the 38th day, right, of the shutdown. This is the longest shutdown in U.S. history. Anytime, I always tell y'all, anytime we mark anything as unprecedented, historical, so forth and so on, we've got to take note of that. The scriptures say in Sirach 5:15, be not ignorant of any matter, small or great. So when words like that are being used, we're talking about history-changing things. We're talking prophetic type things are happening. The last government shutdown was under Agent Orange, if y'all remember that. That was, I think, in 2018, if I'm not mistaken. And that one was 35 days. Now we're at 38 days. Still no end in sight. So we're already record breaking with that. He's already doubled down saying, I'm not giving them niggas money. And mind you, look, I'm jumping the gun. Let me go ahead and let it play.
Republicans plan to hold a vote as soon as today on a bill to end the stalemate.
But it doesn't include an extension of the health care subsidies Democrats are demanding. And after their election victories earlier this week, many Democrats say they'll just keep on fighting.
ABC News reporter Perry Russum joining us live from Washington with the very latest. Perry.
Yeah, Vice President J.D. Vance says it is not up to a federal judge to decide what a president should or should not do during the middle of a government shutdown when it comes to SNAP benefits. A federal judge is ordering the Trump administration to fully distribute SNAP.
You hear that? J.D. Vance jumps out the window and says, it's not up for a judge to tell the president what to do. Remember, he's emperor, he's king, right? A judge can't tell what the president can do. I guess he's not subject to the Supreme Court anymore. This is why you see them Democrats rolling out here in the streets deep saying no King's Day. You dig what I'm saying? Because he's not even listening to the governmental structure that's been established here in America with the Senate, the Supreme Court, Congress. He's saying, hey, whatever I say goes. And then he's got his lapdog, J.D. Vance, saying that's right. Supreme Court can't tell the president what to do.
Benefits by today, accusing the administration of withholding federal food assistance for political reasons. Judge John McConnell says people have gone without for too long. Not making payments to them for even another day is simply unacceptable. The Department of Justice today asking a higher court to immediately halt the ruling. The DOJ argues complying with the court's order does more harm to the government than SNAP recipients. Vice President J.D. Vance calling the judge's ruling absurd.
In the midst of a shutdown, we can't have a federal court telling the president how he has to triage the situation.
SNAP benefits serve 1 in 8 Americans, 42 million people. It's the largest food assistance program in the country. Long lines at food banks across the U.S., like this one in New Jersey.
The problem is this is not going to be sustainable if this shutdown goes on for very long.
Janelle Daniels is a SNAP recipient. Her mother drove with her to the food bank.
I'm so thankful that she was able to come down and assist me.
See, there they go. There they go. See the face? See how they politicize this whole thing? The one they want to interview, they want to make sure they get good. You know, my sister Janelle Daniels out there. She's the SNAP recipient. Oh, the poor Negro woman. You know, she got to get. And don't get me wrong, I'm not disparaging those that need help. Believe me, y'all. I do not want to sound insensitive. What I'm saying is that we see how the media, we see how the government and everybody else is politicizing this thing, and they're out there putting our people as the ones who's in greatest need. We looked at the stats last week. We all know Esau gets this more than anybody else. And you can say, well, that's just because there's more of them. Oh, well, then it should be that way. Yeah, per capita, they're getting it more. Now, if you're saying in the impoverished areas, we would outnumber them, yeah, that's true. But guess what? We've been put in positions and situations to where we are in need of those things. We all know the playing field is not level. And we all know that there's been call it a conspiracy if you want to. I showed the facts. In my video I did about the Scrabble gang and the alphabet community and how what's known as the Jaffe memo, which was put out as a memorandum through the president to the president by, I believe his name, William Jaffe, put it out there as under Planned Parenthood that said that all the incentives that they were going to do for single parent households, healthcare, so forth and so on. We know all these particular government programs were designed to destroy and break up the Black and Hispanic households, to make the Black woman dependent upon white zaddy, to be dependent upon Egypt for benefits. That's why Isaiah 30 says, woe unto them that go down into Egypt for help and haven't asked in my mouth. We know one of the curses in Deuteronomy 28:54 about a man's going to be his eyes going to be evil toward his brother and toward the wife of his bosom and toward his children which he shall lead. We're under these particular curses. We know that in our communities, per capita, we're definitely going to need it more if we're looking at just base numbers and percentages of populations. But overall, facts is facts. They getting that more than we are. You know, when that emergency aid went out, guess what state was one of the first ones that got that money? The parcel, Wisconsin. Now, I don't know what the population of so-called Blacks and Hispanics are in Wisconsin, but I can guarantee you, a dime to a dollar, that there's more whites in Wisconsin, and I'm sure there's more that need that EBT than there are Blacks there. You know, those particular areas, they got their money. And they said, well, California was rushing, Oregon was rushing. They were trying to get it out there, and then, oops, they ain't get it out there. Let me let this play.
Because it's a lot of people who don't have the assistance. And it's hard to try to depend on other people to help you.
As the government shutdown drags into day 38, the longest shutdown in U.S. history, President Trump this morning once again calling on Senate Republicans to end the filibuster rule. That would allow Republicans to use their simple majority vote to reopen the government without any votes from Democrats. But Republican leadership has been unwilling to do that. And today, the Senate will hold another vote on the spending bill that would reopen the government. This will be vote number 50.
So Trump admin asked appeals court to halt ruling to fully fund SNAP for November. So note that they ain't talking about the program in general. They're just talking about trying to get something out for November. And it's not, and they want the fully fund, meaning not the benefits that you would get normally. They want the whole $5 billion, in other words. Trump, Trump said they were going to do $4-something billion. They was like, just get the whole thing. He's like, no, That was just a tactic to say, how can we freeze this again? The $5 billion he didn't want to give up. That's the fully funded, not giving everybody what they normally would get. It's the $5 billion from the emergency fund that they had. He didn't want to give up all of that. Okay. Now, let's look at something. Damn, I just had a precept in my head. Damn, I just lost it. Most often they come back. This is why the guys got to go, man. 2 Samuel 23:3 says, the power of Israel said, the rock of Israel spake to me. He that ruleth over man must be just, ruling in the fear of the Most High. If there is a ruler, there's a king, there's a stipulation. If America's saying, hey, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, and they don't live by that, they hypocrites to that, they lie upon those same statements, then judgment has to happen to them, right? This is the same place that says, in God we trust. It's on the money, it's on everything. Who's the God, though? Is it the head or the face that you see on that money? Is it the face that you see on that coin? What is everybody pledging an allegiance to? Because if God said that anybody that rules over man must be just, can we see justice when he's finding money, 20 plus billion? I've heard it's even 40 billion to send down there to Argentina. You seen the article? You seen the video I played last week when he rebuked that reporter and told her, young lady, Argentina is fighting for their lives. They're fighting for their lives. You don't know anything about that. They're fighting for their lives. Argentina is almost finished. And you've got people here living in tent cities, sisters crying in the car, happy that, the food banks is there, begging and pleading that those cars get re-upped on. Matter of fact, all praise to the Most High. The scripture came back to me. Jeremiah 15:11. Jeremiah 15:11 says, the Most High Yahweh said, verily it shall be well with thy remnant. Verily I will cause the enemy to entreat thee well in the time of evil and in the time of affliction. Our people got to recognize and remember, this is anything that you get, especially in these times right now, when you're dealing with these food lines and food banks and everybody else. Stop looking at the face. Stop looking at, Congress and saying, well, the Democrats, I hope they overturn this and they just go ahead and vote so I can get my benefit. No, you're not getting nothing until the Most High says, okay, I'm going to let the enemy entreat you well again. So when you see these food lines and food banks and all that, don't come to the Israelites talking about, y'all keep talking about the white man. The white man was there for me when they fed me. And hey, there's plenty of Israelite camps that are out there feeding and helping their flock and helping their congregations in times of affliction and needs. I can attest to that personally. But the Lord said he will be the one that will make our enemies entreat thee in the time of evil and in the time of affliction. So when our sister was in there, Janelle crying, saying, I'm so thankful that these people are here helping me. You better thank the Most High, because the Most High is the one who said, I'm going to make them take care of you. I'm going to make sure that you're all right. Even in our wicked estate, even in our reprobate minds, the Lord still says, you know what, those are my children. I'm gonna still throw them a bone. But there's going to be plenty that suffer. There's going to be plenty that go through hell because of rebelliousness, stiff-necked mentality, because they are relying on the church, and the churches is out here draining the pockets of the people. You see Marvin Winans, when you rebuked that sister for not giving up that money, and they tried to clean it up and put it in context and said, no, she just went out of order. If you watch the whole video, I said it could be $5, $1. We was doing the small amounts first, and then she came up with the small, but she wasn't supposed to do that. Now, the sisters online saying that they're blaming her for the church getting put on blast, and it's her fault. And she was like, I can't believe this. I didn't record it. I didn't put this out there. I said it was my fault for going up in the wrong order. But they are rebuking that sister, and I've seen an article they were talking about, man, the church was the church visitation on the following week or two, the numbers was dwindling. A lot of empty seats because people are getting tired of being extorted by these churches. That's a whole nother story. But if we're talking about who's helping who, the Most High is helping, because we see that this man's not being just. He's finding money for his compatriots. As a matter of fact, me and my son was just talking about Argentina yesterday, and he was telling me, he was like, "Yeah, I've been doing some research on Argentina and the population, and you know, many of us already know a vast majority of Argentina has been compromised by the Spaniards, by Amalek, and I believe they said that like 90+% of the population is technically white down there. The indigenous tribes is really nowhere to be found. You look at that, well over 90% of that place now has been inhabited and colonized by white folks, whether they call themselves Spaniards, whether they call themselves German, Jewish, whatever the case may be. They're down there now. The true Argentinians, the descendants of the Inca, who was down there in South America, they're in hiding. I mean, and if you do see some brown skinned folks down there speaking Spanish and say that they're from Argentina, a lot of those people are part of a diaspora. You know, they could have been coming from Curacao, they could have been coming from Colombia, Venezuela. The natives burnt out. That's why I said you got to have the complexion for the connection when Trump says, "Hey, Argentina needs help. We got to go send them some money." But you can look to your left from DC and you looking at Haiti and you like, oh well. You can look at Cuba, oh well. You can look down there in Jamaica, oh well. I haven't heard about no national rescue plan and people from the U.S. military flying down there for aid. If I have, I'm mistaken, correct me, but I haven't seen no real articles showing or videos showing the U.S. aid going down there to Jamaica to help for the disaster relief. I haven't seen it. I ain't even seen Great Britain. You know, they've been under British rule. I ain't seen them come over there. Esau don't go over there and help them. That's why the Lord said, if they're going to be just, if you're going to rule over men, you got to be just. They ain't just. They'll help their own, but they will not help you so-called blacks and Hispanics. Get that straight. And any little benefit that you get, any little come up that you get, it's because the Most High found grace and mercy for you and said, I'll make the enemy and treat you well in your times of affliction and trouble. Stop giving them the credit. Because we see if it's in their hands, they ain't going to do you right. Isaiah 10. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. That's why they're out here playing these politicized games. They're saying, oh, it's the Democrats. Craps. That's a whole nother one. I meant to say Demo Crips, but Democrats, Crips, whatever you want to call them, right? It's their fault. They're the ones who starving you out, blacks and Hispanics, the same ones you were so loyal to and voting for. They're starving you out. We're waiting for their vote. All the Republicans are on board. It's because they want to give health care to the illegals. Oh, no, they want Obamacare to be fully funded and get everybody right. It's their fault. Oh, really? Well, then how come you're appealing a decision to give SNAP benefits back to the people? As a Republican, you saying you ain't got no problems? Go ahead. You in a position to give that money to those who need it, and you're saying, I'm declaring an unrighteous decree. I know that there's widows. I know that there's starving children. I know that there's people with special needs that need, people that are unable to work, disabled that need these particular benefits, but I'm not giving it to them. Now, is that unrighteous? As they're playing these games saying, no, it's the Democrats. It's their fault. They're not voting right. Then when they say, okay, well, forget all of that. You got access to some bread that you can go ahead and send out, no pun intended, give to the people so they can eat. And you say, no, I don't agree with that. Not doing it. Whoa, that's a term of destruction, judgment unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment. Turn aside. Yeah, I hear you crying. Too bad. not going to give you what you need, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. So, yeah, they're out here taking full advantage of our people, preying on our people's weaknesses. See, that's why I said, you see the sister, she's the one who gets interviewed. I guarantee you there's some white folks that was in that line in New Jersey. But no, they don't want to make themselves look weak. We can't put them out there. It's the black folks that need it all. No, this is really, but it, brass tacks, and just to keep it real, we're just talking about the haves and the have-nots. When it breaks down the EBT, it's about the poor, downtrodden, and forgotten. And they ain't getting what they need. All the people that's taking advantage, all the people that's been seduced into believing that this is their savior, or EBT card, and making sure that they constantly get it re-upped every month. Yeah, there are plenty who are out there who are spoiled rotten and refuse to lift a finger, that are getting abused by the system, for sure. But there are those who really need it, and they getting held foot to the flame. So we see how this man's playing. Sirach 1 and verse 29. It says, "Be not a hypocrite in the sight of men, and take good heed what thou speakest." Do you think he takes heed to that? Agent Orange I'm talking about? Do you think he does that? Or is he a hypocrite in the sight of men? He's a hypocrite because he's out here talking about how much Venezuela needs help. He's talking about Nigeria. Oh, the poor Christians over there in Nigeria, they're getting slaughtered. We need to go help them. Is it really about that or not? We're going to talk about that in a minute. He's a hypocrite. 1 minute he's acting like he's got a soft spot for the poor and unfortunate and economically collapsed communities and countries, and you got plenty sitting right here under your big nose, and you say, I'm not helping them. Does he take good heed of what he speaks? Hell no. He speaks whatever's on his mind. Remember before his campaign, he got caught on mic saying, it's so easy to get the models. All you got to do is grab them by the pee. Remember that? Remember when I played the video months ago, when the whole, Epstein stuff was coming up and all of that, and his modeling agency, and having pageants with 15 and 16-year-old girls in swimsuits and judging them. And remember, it was a little 13-year-old girl. She was going up the escalator. He was like, look at that. I'm going to marry that one day. He doesn't take good heed what he speaks. He says whatever. That's why you got to put in take a grain of salt what he says sometimes, because he's always backtracking. What's the term, Rashaf? Taco? I forgot the acronym. What's it? Trump always cops out, or Trump always something. Yeah, because he don't know what he's saying. He just goes off the cuff. He's got the teleprompters. He's got the people that tell him what to write. But if he sees something he don't like, he just gets to talking. So we see what's going on. Okay, let's get to it. Let's get back over here. There's more.
We are now.
Okay, here's Trump suggests U.S. won't pay any SNAP benefits during the shutdown, contradicting the court filing. There you go. Notice we just got there. Trump always chickens out. Okay, there you go. Not cop out, chickens out. Yeah. Contradicting. So isn't that hypocrisy, man? When you're sitting back saying that you're here for the people, you're going to make America affordable again. Wasn't that part of the slogan? The new MAGA slogan was "Make America Great Again." Then he said he's going to make it affordable again, all which was lies, right? Now, look at this. Here's the meat of the matter, what we're talking about today. It says that when I said Trump is declaring war on black and brown, we already see who's being victimized, who's being chased down, who's being profiled here in America. It's the brown people, our so-called Hispanics, brothers and sisters. It's not only them, but the Israelites in general, who we term as blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics. We're the ones being victimized here, be it through the immigration laws, ICE, systematic oppression, so forth and so on. The war's already been declared here in America, right? But now we're seeing him expand literal wars. Wars, rumors of wars, literally are being expanded out. So remember, he campaigned himself into saying that he was the president of peace. Isn't that what he said? He's going to come in, he's going to end all the wars. Give him 24 hours, Ukraine and Russia will be shaking hands and hugging each other. Give him 24 hours. That's over. What? We're getting ready to embark on him being in office a year, and things have only escalated and gotten worse. And one thing for sure, that's the only conflict that we see him fake trying to get peace with. Two Edomite nations. Really, they're the same people, the Russians and Ukrainians. But white on white crime, he's supposedly trying to intercede and stop that. But when it comes down to what's going on in Gaza, that's quote unquote white against brown. He's not doing nothing to stop that. He's actually helped by bombing Iran. When it comes down to it, we see here, Trump administration is planning a new mission in Mexico against cartels. Current and former officials say it's always, oh, it's the drug trafficking. He knows damn well fentanyl is the biggest killer of people here going on in America, the biggest, hottest drug, and he knows it's coming out of China, but he's not declaring war against them, is he? How is the fentanyl even getting to Mexico? Who's getting it to them? Why not go to the head of the snake? He's not doing that, no. Reason being, and this is me speaking, is because he sees China profiteering off of the drug trade. You go in and you lean in on Mexico and you say it's a new boss in town. I'm going to give you the means to justify the ends. I'm going to give you the okays. I need a piece of that. How do we know that? Because we know the CIA was responsible for drug trafficking back in the 80s. The Iran-Contra scandal, Rick Ross, Gary Webb, Oliver North, all that stuff. Y'all know. How about the Afghanistan poppy fields where they were guarding the poppy fields? Poppy fields was being used to make heroin, guarding them in Afghanistan all these years. America's been involved in the drug trade. Far be it from them to say, well, you know what? These cartels is over here eating well and sitting high on the hog and puffed up. I need in on that. Oh, the Chinese is over there? I don't know. I need to go ahead and step on in there, man, and make my claim to fame and let it be known. Look at Obama with Operation Fast and Furious, giving them weapons, giving the cartels weapons. And they was claiming, oh, we're using them to track down the cartels. Who's getting the guns? We're gonna track the serial numbers. We're gonna find the weapons. Meanwhile, there nothing come of that. They was giving the damn weapons to them. So here they are now saying, oh, we got a new mission. We're gonna go into Mexico. We're gonna invade and wage war on them. Well, okay, so you got Mexico. You already engaged in war with Iran, Yemen, Gaza, Palestine, Hezbollah. Have we found any of these so-called whites in these particular conflicts yet? Nigeria, he's threatening now. Venezuela. You see the common theme? Everybody, all these particular nations and countries are inhabited by blacks and browns. This peace is declaring war on everybody that don't look like it. And remember, they're already transforming the immigration policy to say they're making it easier for, and they want more whites to come here. And they said they're making it more difficult for the brown nations to come on over. The heads of the civil rights department in the government now is ran by a white man. Let's continue. See, matter of fact, before we even go, look, this is how we know. Let's look at Revelation. And we're going to read, we're just going to get right to 3 and 4. All right. Now, this is these are the 7 seals, right? We're going to look at this second seal and understand and know where and how we know who this particular red horse is. So it says, Verse 3. And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, come and see. And there went out another horse that was red. Right? So, red horse. And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. Now, not gonna go into it. Y'all already know. You can write down Revelation. Excuse me. You can write down Genesis 25 regarding who the red nation is, who the people are. Remember, Rebecca was told 2 nations are in thy womb. The first came out red. So there was a particular reason that this progenitor of a nation was described as being red. All right. And this particular red horse, this particular nation, was given power. Now we know the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. Okay. So power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. Now, if we know this particular nation is the only one, let's say, for instance, even with America, we're getting ready. No, they're getting ready to celebrate their 250-year anniversary of being in existence from 1776. So next year, 2026, they're going to have this big old celebration, 250 years. We've talked about it on a number of occasions. How many years has America been actually at peace? Anywhere from 15 to 17 years. Of that 249 going on 250 years, that's all they've had in peacetime. Other than that, they've constantly been at war and conflict all throughout the earth. They've taken peace from the earth. Remember, he said, I'm the president of peace. I'm going to end all these wars. There's no reason why innocent lives should be getting killed. Millions and millions of people are dying over there in Gaza. This isn't right. Millions of Israelis are dying. This isn't right. Millions of Ukrainians are dying. This isn't right. I want to sit. He wants the Nobel Peace Prize, right? Remember that? We don't see him getting any of the above, because what has he done? He's initiated more war. He's taken peace from the earth. He's disturbing the peace right now for the people waiting for the EBT cards and SNAP cards to get re-upped, causing more frantic behavior, more paranoia, more starvation, leaning more on the food banks, man, pressuring them. That's taking away peace too. But he's taking peace away from the earth. Ask all the nations throughout the earth. The scriptures say, man, the nations were angry with him. Revelation 11, Obadiah all says, man, Revelation 17 tells you, man, that the 10 horns, they're going to hate the whore. Obadiah says all those of us in league with him is going to hate him and turn their back on him, paraphrasing, because he's oppressed and he's taking peace from everybody. Prime example. Let me open up another thing. I'm going to come back over there. Taking peace from the earth, right? First Maccabees 1. Now, mind you, this is the first initiation of when the so-called white man came into power. This is the fulfillment of Job 9:24. Esau was around, yes, but was he a dominant factor? No. He definitely was not a dominant factor until Alexander, the freak, came into power, right? And it came to pass, and it happened. What happened? Job 9:24, the earth being given a hand to the wicked, the prophecies that was being fulfilled in Daniel 8, Daniel 11, Daniel 7. Those things all came to pass, right? After that, Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chedam, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in instead, the first over Greece. What did he do? And made many wars. What did he do? He took the peace from the earth. Going back to Revelation 6 and 4, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. Power was given to him. He talks about manifest destiny. He's talking about the papal bulls and dumb diverses and everything. No, the Most High gave him the power to do this via the serpent, Satan. So Revelation 13 says the power was given unto the beast by Satan. The dragon gave him the power. Taking peace from the earth. So what did he do? Verse 2, going back to First Maccabees 1 and 2, and made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth. So all known kings in the existing earth at the time all felt the wrath and the sword of the so-called white man. The Africans taken out, East Indians taken out, Arabs taken out, Israel taken out. He put everybody under his particular thumb, under his boot, if you will. Verse 3, and went through the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up, and he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries to him. That's him taking peace from the earth. Look at the slaughtering and the genocide that he did. We just talked about it with Argentina alone. That's literal genocide, man. To actually look, let me see if I can find it. Look at this. Now this is just AI talking about 79%. The numbers can go even higher. But notice this. Approximately 37 million. Notice that the total population as of 2025 in Argentina is 46.7 million. 37 million of them is white. That's almost 80%. Almost 80%. Look at this. Italian, Spanish, French, Arab, German. What happened to the actual indigenous populations? Where are they at? Yeah, they got destroyed. They got ran out. They got colonized. Okay. So now we're seeing here what he's done now. Okay. Going back to First Maccabees 1:4, and he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him. Right now, going back to Revelation, he's taken peace from the earth. So he slaughtered indigenous populations here in the Americas. He's conquered and he's inhabited and colonized and controlled areas in all the countries in Africa. Right, Middle East, so-called Middle East, he's conquered and had wars with them. The Asian population, from everybody from Vietnam, Korea, Japan, China, all have histories of conflict or issues with America. I mean, name me a nation who he has not even just America. We talking about the white man, period, who he is not taking some peace from or had an issue with. This is why he's marked for judgment and death. So power was given to him that sat there on to take peace from the earth. He's the red horse that's taking peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. So not only does he destroy and kill nations, he kills each himself. He does not care. And there was given unto him a great sword. Right? So even if you look at, what is it, Genesis 27:41, about him being blessed with the sword, right? And then in Isaiah, I think it's 56, where he says that he created the smith. Let me make sure I'm quoting that right. Uh, 54. I said 56. Look at it. Isaiah 54:16. It says, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. That instrument is an instrument of destruction. We're talking ICBM missiles. We're talking about nukes. We're talking about him being able to create sound and sonic weapons. I mean, this guy is diabolical when it comes down to weaponry. I got a clip, man. I'm working on another little presentation about Genesis 27 and him living by the sword and all of the weapons, all the things that he does. I got this particular clip I'm gonna play where this former CEO or correction officer in the prison system, right? He was talking about conflicts that, the Woods or the white folk, the white boys and all that be having with Jakes, and or Israel in general, blacks, Hispanics, whatever. He said the one thing that the whites have an advantage of, he says, they know how to make some weapons. He said nobody makes weapons better than the whites. That's part of his blessing by living by a great sword. Okay, that bringing forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. Yeah, that waster to destroy is so-called white man, where he's going to have the capabilities. I mean, if you look at it from a perspective of who's got the most nukes, Russia's got the most, I believe. The U.S. is second, China is third. Russia alone has enough nukes, man, to destroy the earth 10 times over. America's got the same capabilities, man. They can destroy the complete earth if they wanted to, at a push of a button. That's him living by the sword, right? Now, let's look at what else is going on. Why is he declaring war? Why is he pushing the panic button? Revelation 12, verse 12. Therefore, rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath. Why? Because he knoweth that he have but a short time. Why is he pressed for time? What does he know that we don't know? How come our people ain't moving with the time, reading the room? Why are we seeing things escalate? How come are we seeing things that are actually moving faster than normal? Remember, even Christ told us that the time will be cut short for the elect's sake, lest no flesh will be saved. So while we're sitting here bumping our noses with each other and mad dogging each other and arguing with each other and doing all that, this man is pushing the panic button, man, moving fast as lightning, trying to accomplish every goal that he can and trying to extend his kingdom. And here we are sitting back trying to hand it to him on a silver platter, saying, we ain't ready. We don't want it yet. We don't want the kingdom. We don't want justice in the earth. We don't want vengeance. We're good being servant slaves, handmaids, and being taken advantage of and being the poster child of everything that's wrong in the earth. We're fine with that. No, he's sitting back saying, no, I know I got a certain amount of time and I got to make it happen. What time? 2 Ezra 6, 8, and 9. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. So we're talking about the last two nations on the earth, the descendants of Jacob, who are the Israelites, and the descendants of the so-called white man, who's Esau. Verse 9, for Esau is the end of the world. That's the time. You got the sand, the hourglass, and you flip it, the hourglass gets to drop in the sand. That time is ticking. It says he's the end. So there is an end. The end indicates a time period. There's a beginning, there's an end. That's the start and the ending of a time frame. That's the concept of time. Start, finish. When you got a stopwatch and you're saying, okay, you know what? I got to do, 15 jumping jacks in 5 seconds. And you start the clock and that's the start and that's the beginning. That's time. For Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow with it. He knows time is of the essence. That's why he said, man, I'm going all out. Because he has but a short time. So when he goes on record and says, oh, no, I'm trying to end all the wars, but meanwhile, he's doing the exact opposite, is because he's operating as a devil and he knows time is short. Look at this in Matthew, the 8th chapter. And we'll just get right to it, right? We'll start at 28 and we'll read down. It says, and when he was come to the other side into the country of the Gergesenes, there met him two possessed with devils coming out of the tombs, exceeding fierce, so that no man might pass by. And behold, they cried out, saying, what have we to do with thee, Yahushua, the Son of the Most High? Art thou come hither to torment us before the time? Oh, so even these particular devils, these demons that were possessing these individuals, they cried out and spoke to Yahushua and said, hey, is it time yet? You're coming to torment us before the time. Like our judgment isn't here yet. Why are you here? Hold on. We still got more rule on the earth. And that goes back into Revelation 12, where it tells you that that old serpent, the devil, was deceiving the whole world. He's got agents. Said him and all his agents are cast down. They're out here ruling, running rampant in the earth, seducing, killing, maiming, destroying, lying, deceiving. And they know the time. He said, "Man, you come and get us before the time? Hold on, not yet." And then what did Yahweh do? He said, "No, it ain't time yet, but I'm coming for you." Verse 30, and there was a good way off from them a herd of many swine feeding. So the devils besought him, saying, "If thou cast us out, suffer us to go away into the herd of swine." That should let you know what type of spirit is in that meat. When our people are sitting back feasting on these baby back ribs and feasting on their chitlins and feasting on the hog maws and the hog head cheese and eating the damn pork pepperoni and everything, you have no idea that you're partaking in these devilish meats. This is why the Greeks were forcing and wanting our people to sacrifice swine's flesh on the altar, because they wanted to sacrifice the devils and demons, false deities. Why would they be comfortable in that flesh? They begged. They said, "Man, at least throw us to the swine, man. If you're gonna do anything, put us in a comfortable host so we can possess them." As soon as they did, man, the damn swine went crazy and lost themselves. See, Elder put a good precept in the chat, y'all. Job 14:5. That's a good one. Let me run through a few more, and then I want to continue on. Let's look at Psalm 64. Now, mind you, again, he's saying he's the president of peace. Now he's talking about invading Mexico now. Psalm 64, we're going to read 2 down. It says, "Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words." That's how he lived. Bitter words. You're going to hear it in a minute. How he just licking his chops, man. He can't wait to get over there in Nigeria. He said, "If they don't stop killing our Christians, we're going to have to go over there, and it's going to be fast and swift and destructive," and whatever he said, right? Whet their tongue like a sword, man. They licking their lips, man, when it comes down to destruction, colonization, death, maim, and murder. Verse 4, "That they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not." Look at this, verse 5. "They encourage themselves in the evil matter." Yes, starve out them people that need them SNAP benefits, man. Encouraging themselves. Don't vote yes. Don't vote no. You know? Yeah, we want to go over there and get at the Mexicans, the Venezuelans, the Nigerians. We need to get over there and bomb some more in Iran. We need to continue on starving out Cuba and everywhere else. You got nations like Cuba. Yeah, they got particular issues because they've aligned themselves with Russia. They over there, man. Food lines over there, rolling blackouts, all kind of problems in that island, man. They ain't help. Like I said, I ain't heard of one damn boat, plane, anything flying over there to help disaster relief in Jamaica. Yeah, they're gonna have the news report saying, "This is just now, Jamaica got devastated, 180-mile-an-hour winds, all this other stuff." But then it's like, okay, well, are you gonna help? Are we sending out aid? No. I seen videos of Joshua, what you said? You said it was I believe they was from El Salvador. Is it El Salvador or one? It was a particular country in Central America where they had like 300 volunteers and troops that went to Jamaica to go help, and they were filming. Somebody had filmed them lining up, getting over there to go help them with aid. Where's the video of that of America doing that? They're not going to show you that because they encourage themselves in the evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, "Who shall see them?" They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them. and their heart is deep. They put a lot of time, effort, and thought into this. How to collapse this particular society, how to incite riots, how to create the whole scenario of a problem reaction solution, a Hegelian dialectic, so that they can bring in the digital ID, they can bring in the new age, the new world. You know, I ain't gonna say the rest because the algorithms taps in and messes with the video, but you know what I'm talking about. Well, they want to institute a great reset. They gotta have a reason to do it though. And they gotta make it so that people will rationalize and say, oh, I understand. Sure, take my rights, feed me whatever, monitor, track, trace everything that I do. Yeah, I understand. I'm willing to sacrifice it all. Take what I have. See, they're lining everybody up. So they're telling, oh, it's the drugs, it's the drugs. No, it ain't the drugs. Verse 12 in Psalms 38. They also that seek after my life lay snares for me, and they that seek my hurt speak mischievous things. Oh yeah, it's that bad cartels. Oh, Maduro's down there dealing drugs. Maduro, we've seen on record was saying, look, I ain't got no smoke. I don't want no smoke with America, man. Y'all want the oil? Come get the oil. Want gold? Get the gold. Want me to cut off China and Russia? I'll cut them off. Just fall back. Leave me alone. And they said, no, we want it all. And we want your life, and we want you out the way. Seek my hurt, speak mischievous things, and imagine deceits all the day long. I mean, all they can think about is lies, deceptions, cover-ups. I just see the headline now. They talk about Ghislaine Maxwell, the madam and the former partner of Epstein, after she went ahead and did her little testimony on record. They moved her down to Club Fed. I seen the headline says she says this is fantastic. She loves her new confines down there at a little Fed camp down in Texas. After she went ahead and said, "Oh, Trump, he wasn't part of. We didn't see nothing of it." What? And now you ain't gonna see nothing about the Black Book. You ain't gonna see nothing about the flight records. You ain't gonna see nothing about Epstein files. All that's all gone now. Because they imagine deceits, man. They constantly drumming up more lies, more deceptions, more misdirections, more disinformation, right? Why am I struggling to spell Psalms? Okay, I'm done. Psalms, let me read one more in Psalms 35. And verse 20. It says, let me read 19 and 20. It says, let not them that are my enemies wrongfully rejoice over me, neither let them wink with the eye that hate me without a cause. For they speak not peace. Remember that he ain't speaking peace. He lied, telling the president of peace. We ain't seen that. But they devise deceitful matters against them that are quiet in the land. So what did Venezuela do to get, multiple fishing boats get destroyed? The body count, is up to damn near 20-something people that got killed. False accusations being thrown around. I mean, what did they do to get all that? Huh? What did the indigenous populations over here, man, the Maya, the Aztec, the Inca, the Native Americans here, what did they do to get invaded and get destroyed and colonized and the land swiped up from them? What did they do to him? We violated our God, yeah, no doubt. But why did he put forward the affliction? How come his internal hatred for us caused him to go above and beyond the call of duty? Quiet in the land, but he's over there disturbing the peace. Remember, it said that he's going to take peace from the land, right? So he's moving down there to Mexico. He's looking at trying to invade Mexico now, right? The Trump administration has begun detailed planning for a new mission to send American troops and intelligence officers into Mexico to target drug cartels, according to 2 U.S. officials and 2 former senior U.S. officials familiar with the effort. And they know that China is involved in a fentanyl. Why are these not going to them? because he know what that entails. So why not pick on the little brown people down there? Even though the cartels are out of control, the cartels is wicked as ever, no doubt. But if we're looking at it from the political lens, we can see what he's doing. He's trying to wipe out, control, monitor, and grab the resources that these brown nations have so that he can now take control of those things, throw in puppet governments, and control the whole narrative. So Mexico's on deck, right? Trump threat of military action in Nigeria prompts confusion and alarm. Yeah, confusion. Why? People were at peace. They went. He ain't got nothing to do with Nigeria. He's talking about, oh, the Christians is being persecuted over there. Really? Okay. Well, if it's about the Christians that's being persecuted and killed, right? What happened over there in Syria? Remember that the Syrians was talking about the Christians over there getting persecuted, and the Al Qaeda arm or whatever they were doing, they was killing people over there. And after they got rid of Bashir al-Assad, they got rid of him, and then they went and put in a quote unquote former Al Qaeda general to take over. And they said, man, they was out there doing even worse to the Christians over there. Why is he not back over there in Syria if he's caring about the Christians? This is why it's confusing and alarm. But Syria ain't got what they need. Syria ain't got what, he's looking for. What's he looking for? Nigerians described a mixture of confusion and fear on Sunday as people across the country tried to decipher President Donald Trump's threat to stop all aid to Africa's most populous country and go in, quote, guns a-blazing after accusing Nigeria's government of allowing the killing of Christians. Now, don't get me wrong. Boko Haram is over there. They're over there killing Christians over there. They over there, putting the smash down for Islam and going wild, right? Look what happened over there. What about Sudan? Remember last week I played the video of the guy saying he was the butcher of the century, claiming he got 2,000 bodies or 200 bodies under his belt, and they over there slaughtering the Christians too. Why not go to Sudan too, man? While you at it, since you want a mission to save all the Christians. Oh, Sudan ain't got what you need, though. Huh? Maybe that's the case. Look at it. Group chats on social media in the West African nation blew up in the wake of Trump's comments Saturday, with many Nigerians baffled by Trump's ire. In a post on Truth Social, Trump singled out the plight of Christians allegedly targeted by violence in Nigeria and raised the threat of direct military action. Hold on.
If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria. We're going to do things to Nigeria that Nigeria is not going to be happy about and may very well.
So
if the Nigerian government continues,
they ain't going to be happy about. I wonder why.
Continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria. We're going to do things to Nigeria that Nigeria is not going to be happy about and may very well go into that now disgraced country, guns a-blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible, horrible atrocities. I'm hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attack our cherished Christians. The
Nigerians are fast, vicious, and sweet. Remember, the Lord said, "You got to give heed to what thou speakest." Man, you just got to say the Nigerians ain't gonna like what we're gonna do. So why are you gonna go impose oppression and go wild out on the whole nation? Well, I mean, he's already acknowledged, man, they ain't gonna like it. But guess what? We're going in guns a-blazing, claiming it's to root out Islamic terrorists. But is it really? Oh, maybe it's because it is. China backed Venezuela. Trump hits Maduro's end is near as tensions escalate. So what's the connection between Venezuela, Nigeria, China? China's backing both of them, right? China on Tuesday defended its growing cooperation with Venezuela, saying that its engagement with leader Nicolas Maduro's government constitutes normal cooperation between sovereign states and is directed against any third party. The comments made by the foreign ministry spokeswoman Mao Ning followed a Washington Post report that Maduro had sought military assistance from Russia, China, and Iran. Oh, the three-headed monster. They don't, that doesn't like America. Oh, it's because Venezuela's got ties with them, and Venezuela can lean on them for help. See the connection? Look at this. China stands with Nigeria. Oh, so China standing with Venezuela, China standing with Nigeria. Why? Amid U.S. pressure safeguards their $1.3 billion mining stake. Oh, it's over mining. Why? Because Nigeria's got oil, gas, gold, various minerals that are very coveted by the nations. And now guess who's got a mining stake already going on over there? And America don't like that. Goddamn chinks over there getting everything. I want that. China has issued a strong diplomatic response to recent remarks by U.S. President Donald Trump, who threatened military intervention in Nigeria over alleged religious persecution. Now, it's alleged, but I've seen some videos of some Nigerians saying that they are getting, in certain areas, not the whole country, certain areas, there is Islamic pressure, and they are running down on them Christians over there. So I'm not going to sit back and say that ain't happening. However, we know that this goes well beyond him talking about this for the Christians. And you're right, Niquab. He definitely said he's not a Christian. I love the Christians. I'm not a Christian, but I love the Christians. Remember that? I remember that. You do. He says he loves them, right? But he's not one. Oh, look at this. Trump's threat. Russia says it's closely monitoring the situation in Nigeria. So look who the common enemy threads are. We see where the web always gets entangled, but the same people is in the mix. Iran, Russia, China, they all have stakes and claims with Venezuela, with Nigeria. They ain't trying to have that go down. With Mexico, right? Look at it. Russia's open to sending hypersonic missiles to Venezuela, a weapon capable of carrying a nuclear warhead among those that could be dispatched to tackle Trump's drug offensive. So they sit back and say, oh, dang, Russians is over here protecting drug dealers. That ain't what's going on. They want, everybody knows, man. They want the oil, they want the resources, they want the minerals. How else are you going to, quote unquote, make America great again? America's at 37, almost $38 trillion in debt. There's no industry going on here. The government is shut down. The dollar is inflated. You dig what I'm saying? Like, how else are you going to try to gain income? Them tariffs ain't working. You got to go and start hoarding precious metals, minerals, oil to start having a valuable asset to back up your dollar again. Let's continue. Hold on, I thought I had a. Maybe not. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Y'all can look it up. As far as Nigeria, it's beyond Christians. Y'all should know that. We should know that, right? Nigeria's is one of the leaders in oil and gas refineries. You just seen they got $1.3 billion in a mining stake, with China's got a little hold on there. See, you know, all the heathen nations, man, just take advantage of. Jake, yes, there's a lot of Israel in Nigeria to take advantage of our people, loot them for all the resources, and it's just a fight to see who can take advantage of them the worst, right? Venezuela, the same thing. So Russia's saying we'll send hypersonic missiles, man, that can carry nukes. We'll give it to them, man, if it really goes down like that. And if America really wants smoke, guess what? They're gonna have to answer to us too. That's why I said Russia said we're closely monitoring what's gonna go down in Nigeria. Because Russia's got ties with them too. Now, I meant to put this in the beginning, but this is how bad it's getting with AI, man. They said Fox News was mocked after the network falls for an AI video smearing SNAP recipients. I didn't have the video; it was embedded in the article. But I mean, yeah, this is ridiculous. When the news now is being deceived and they're using AI video, there was a video that Neil Tyson deGrasse, the famous little astrophysicist, scientist, whatever, the Jake. He played a video of him saying that the Earth was flat and all this other stuff that he's staunchly came against. Played a video of him saying after further research, blah 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 blah, I realized that the Earth was flat, and then he takes the phone and shows you that he made the AI video, and you would swear it was him really doing. He was like, "This is not me. This is AI. This shit is out of control." Now it's at the point now where AI is fooling the news, and the news is running stories that ain't even real. I mean, we truly are living in a matrix, man, where you are questioning reality now. Good Lord. This is why the Lord said, man, time got to get cut short, man. Somebody gonna die over this, over this deception that's out there, man. But that's par for the course, man. If this country is being ruled by a dragon type spirit in Revelation 12, that a deceiver, an adversary of truth, righteousness, Christ, Bible, the whole nine. A cold tool to use is a weapon of deception that can fool even the best of them. This should have some video, man. Sister talking about she got 7 baby daddies. She needs her snap and all this other stuff. And the news ran with it. Man. It's wild out here, man. It's wicked out here. Let's look at another one. Remember we talked about this? I don't even have let me see if I can fix this a little bit. I'm not gonna read the whole article, but anyway, remember they talked about the FBI thwarted a terrorist attack up there in Michigan. They was gonna carry out a terrorist attack over Halloween weekend. And I said, that sounds phony to me. We ain't heard about no names. We ain't seen no pictures. We ain't seen nothing. They said they had some quote unquote suspects. And, we had evidence. And they were saying, and I said, man, this is the FBI trying to, clean up their reputation and get the heat up off of them because they didn't do the Epstein files. They not looking into the Charlie Kirk situation, all the other stuff. They said, hey, well, look, we just stopped some guys over here in Michigan getting ready to do a terrorist attack on Halloween. Give us some credit here. And I said, man, they ain't happening. But look at it. Michigan lawyer says a Halloween terror plot that the FBI director Cass Patel described never existed. I said it last week, or the week after it happened, that it was a lie. I found this article. I said, oh, there it go. Never existed, but here they are out here running propaganda, running game, trying to make it sound like they on the case. We doing our job. We're catching these guys. Ain't nothing going on, man. At all. Here's some other shocking information too. We got to pay attention because as the digital age is coming in, this guy right here, Larry Fink, BlackRock CEO, we talked about last week how BlackRock, Google, all these other particular conglomerates are coming together to create one centralized digital asset coin, functional for the internet and all life. We talked about that last week. We're going to it again in the future. But this guy is one of the heads of the economic snake, if you will. And listen to what he said.
We can't calculate our total taxes.
Play too long. It's a 5-minute video, but
sales tax, real estate credits, solar incentives.
And we have no way to integrate all that.
No, but BDO does.
People who know BDO.
Joining us now exclusively here at Post 9 is the company's chairman and CEO, Larry Fink. Larry, good to have you here. Thank you for being here.
Carl, David.
And Jim will probably ask some questions as well, no doubt about that. I guess, it seems as though things are working on all fronts for you. Is this as good as it can get, Larry?
Well, it is gratifying. I mean, what really identified us in the third quarter, the breadth of where we grew. It wasn't just one business area. It was from cash to our systematic equity, our AI-based equity team that grew $30 billion over the course of the year, $10 billion in the quarter. To our systematic equity, our AI-based equity team that grew $30 billion over the course of the year, $10 billion in the quarter. Crypto, our digital asset platform, our private markets platform, our investment technology grew as fast as they have in many, many quarters now. And then, just across the board, ETFs, record quarter. So it was not just one product area. It was not just one region. It was a completeness. And I think it comes down to the whole portfolio, the entirety of a conversation. When we bought BGI in 2009, no one thought you could marry passive and active. Well, not only we did that, we've transformed how a portfolio is being engaged.
I'm not going to let him continue to ramble. I'm just going to get right to the point. You can see the title of the video itself here is acknowledging that he's going to acknowledge and say we're at the beginning of the tokenization of all assets. What does that mean? Every asset, every form of currency is going to be tokenized or digitized. Everything is going on a digital scale platform. Cashless. We've been talking about cashless society since the early 90s. People looked at us like we had damn 4 eyes and 8 arms. Now here we are. With the heads of finance who control over damn near $14 trillion worth of assets that are locked into every financial institution. They control everything. And they're saying everything is going to be tokenized, digitized, man. Digital IDs, digital money, you name it. Everything is going in that fashion, which is what the Bible says also, that everybody's going to be forced into a particular situation to survive, to buy, sell, to live in peace and harmony, so to speak. You're going to have to adjust, and you're going to have to accept the ways it's being put out. All right. But he's acknowledged. He said we're at the beginning of it. We're at the beginning of everything getting put in place. You're seeing all of these consolidation, the companies, buyouts. One particular head is going to control multiple entities. Even when you look at entertainment, there's only 6 corporations really that run the whole entertainment industry, from radio, television, film, internet, you name it. It's only 6, and that's going to be slimmed down even more. So we're at the beginning of the end as far as money's concerned, as far as how much closer we're getting towards a digital system to where a social credit score is going to mean everything for your existence. There was an episode of Black Mirror on Netflix. Some of y'all might be familiar. If you're not, very good series that you should check out on Netflix, Black Mirror. And they were talking about your social credit score. There's a woman on there, her social credit score. She was trying to get a social credit score so she can buy a house. She was trying to, get more friends and get in the in crowd and do everything. She couldn't get, it was pretty wild. But China's already running off of that system. A couple of other countries are already running off that system. You see, they try to, do a beta test with COVID, telling you where you can and can't go. You can't work. You can't, enter into particular restaurants if you ain't got it. You can't travel. You can't do all these things unless you had digital passports, digital verification that you got treated, if you will. You know what I'm saying? So they're good. They ran the beta test. They said, okay, we got a lot of suckers, man, that's gonna ride with this, but there's some knuckleheads out there too. And how did they do that? Censorship. They shut down a lot of people's ability to speak online. I mean, hell, we ran through, I think, two or three YouTube channels, and even after that, we got the scarlet letter ever since then, they've been blacklisting and uh, um, uh, shadow banning anything that's attached to our email or anything, any account we make. Like, you can forget about it. We ain't getting no momentum rolling off of that. So it is what it is. But the digital age is coming. Thus save the mouth of this beast right here. Let's continue. Look at this. The largest trucking capacity purge in history is coming. There goes that word again. In history. What are they talking about? The largest trucking capacity? That means freight, import, exports. That means supply chains. Purge is coming. So when Yahweh told us famines is going to come, there's going to be a scarcity of goods. That's all on the table, y'all. If you're not preparing yourself, if you're not looking at means to figure out, well, damn, when this goes bad, this goes left, when the lights go out, do I got backup this? Do I have sustainable food? Do I know how to garden? Do I know how to start a damn fire without a match? Like, just certain things. I mean, water in particular, water. You've got to have water. You don't have some water stored up, man. If you ain't got some purifying tablets so that you can make sure that even if you got some tap water, or you got to go out and get some water out of the damn, they got them keys now where you can go to particular municipal buildings and all that, and giving y'all some hints that you may see the faucet connected to the building, but the key or the knob is taken off. They got keys now. You can go by, you can twist on, get some water, throw some treatment tablets in there, make sure you got some water going. You got to have water, man. They said the body, I mean, we know the principles of fasting. You can go some days without water if you're disciplined in your fasting habits. But if you're not, which the majority of our people are not, in the truth and out, a lot of our people can't survive a day without water. They're gonna go crazy without it. But let's look at this. The freight industry is experiencing what experts describe as one of the most interesting times ever in freight, though unfortunately not in a positive way. For most participants, motor carriers and freight brokers across the spectrum are feeling significant pain from weak freight volumes and a rapidly changing operating climate. What we're witnessing appears to be the calm before a significant storm. Did you hear that? What we're witnessing appears to be the calm before a significant storm, with indicators pointing towards what could become the largest capacity washout in trucking history, with the risk of the market eliminating 600,000 active drivers. 600,000. Remember last week they was already purging out those who couldn't speak English, and thousands was losing their jobs just based on that. Now they're talking about a complete purge of active drivers because what? The AI trucks is going to come, driverless, trucks is coming in. Let alone this is supply chain period alone is going to dwindle down because of the tariffs, because of the economic stance, the government shutdown. All this other stuff is all going to play in the role. So the trucking industry is getting ready to have a massive decline. The largest capacity purge in history may be coming, bringing COVID-like spot rates. The difference this time is that there won't be a flood of immigrants created by Biden's open borders, which offered an endless supply of truck drivers. Did you hear that? That the help is not on the way. Why? Because Agent Orange says, get rid of them. They can't work. We don't want them. They ain't who's working the fields? Remember they was talking about the farming in the fields, and now we're suffering because the so-called migrants weren't out there anymore. But don't worry, Bill Gates has bought up all this farmland so he can harvest all the GMO crops and frankenfoods that for your heart's desire. The capacity relief valve for shippers and brokers is forever shut, meaning carriers will have to pay up in terms of higher pay and bonuses for truck drivers. Capacity will also be much harder to find. So unless the carriers are going to pay people more and give bonuses to truck drivers, it's not going down. And with the state of the economy, the major CEOs and bankers are telling corporations, man, quit hiring freezes on. Don't hire right now. That's why you see the job numbers all dwindling. There ain't been positive job growth in months. Job losses is going up. Everybody knows it. Everybody's feeling the pain and the pinch. From hours getting reduced to getting laid off to getting fired to companies getting, having mergers and coming together to sustain themselves and having to purge out the unnecessary extra weight. You used to get bonuses. You used to get little gift certificates, and all that's gone now at your companies. No more. They ain't out there no more. They're all trying to hang on with both hands. So now we're seeing a trucking purge is going to come that's going to highly affect imports, exports, supply chain, so forth and so on. They said it's going to bring back stuff like it was during COVID. And you remember the supply chains were shut down, empty shelves, the whole nine. And it ain't going to be because of COVID. It's going to be because of the state of the economy and the state of affairs, man. Get ready, y'all. I'm gonna skip that. That was a video talking about the freight, the issue with the freights. It was one of the CEOs of a freight train company. I found a video, him explaining it, but it's too lengthy. I think it was about 10 minutes or something like that. But nonetheless, you look into it, you'll see some testimonies regarding the problems that's going to happen with the trucking industry. Look at this. Democrats are more enthusiastic about the midterms as Trump's approval hits a second term low. CNN polls. You see what happened with the voting that just went down over the week. The Demo Crips is coming up. They starting to get their power back. The big talk of the town is the new mayor of New York, Mamdani, which we'll look at in a minute. But the Demo Crips is out here gloating at the fact that they're going to have a chance to wet their tongue and lick their lips and, get back into a position of power. So we can keep going back on the seesaw back and forth for them doing the same things. Here he goes. Inside Zoran Mamdani's ultra woke victory party. Where did he go celebrate? Where did he celebrate? At a gay bar. Oh, that will be banned in his homeland. Can you imagine? This is a prime example of all the nations drinking of the wine of the wrath of the fornication of America. This guy was born in Uganda. He's not Ugandan by bloodline. He's East Indian. However, he was born in Uganda, right? That's why they're saying he will be banned in his homeland, because Uganda is anti-sodomite. And they said this guy, man, he was playing a race card. He was saying that he's African because of his roots in Uganda. He's East Indian because of his patriarchal bloodline. Then he's saying he's brown. He chameleon. He try to be a chameleon over there. So a lot of them Republicans over there is tripping in New York because they're saying he's a self-proclaimed socialist / communist. And when they say socialism, basically he's going to try to make New York fund multiple things for the people, which typically goes bad when the money runs dry. Just ask Venezuela, ask Argentina, and these other particular places that try to run a socialist regime where the government supplies everything in exchange for cheap labor. It don't work that well. So, he wants free buses in New York. One thing I'll give him credit for, he's trying to do a rent freeze until 2030 where they can't raise the rents no more because living in New York is beyond expensive. And I'm saying that living in California. So it's got to be bad. But look what he does, though. And this is another reason why they over there shaking and tripping in New York, because he goes celebrates at a damn sodomite bar. His victory. So he's fully entrenched. He's fully drunk. Let's get that in Revelation. Let's look at 14. In verse 8. And it says, And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, the great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. See, this is exactly what Mamdani did. He came over here from Uganda via his Indian roots, got over here and got drunk. Now he's over there celebrating the sodomite bars, running rampant with this ultra woke attitude. And he's only 34. There's videos of him, man, rapping when he was in I think he was in Uganda somewhere, man. He was over here rapping, doing all kind of stuff, man. So, the Edomites, man, they hot. They did not want this guy in there. They feel as though he's going to change the whole political aspect of how New York is ran. Is going to be quote unquote woke. He's taxing. He's going to lay heavy taxes on the rich over there. They trying to flee and get their little exodus jumping off. So they not happy over there, man. New York, big city of dreams. And here he is. He's living his dream, man. What they mad for? Let him go over there and destroy New York, man. Because if that's the case, man, that means more judgments coming to America, man, and more closer we can get the hell up out of here. Moving on. Look at this. ICE plans cash rewards for private bounty hunters to locate and track immigrants. Do you see how much worse it's getting, man? They got that little budget money, man. They're getting bounty hunters. It's not enough that ICE is out there already, committed. Let me see. Hold on one second. Let me see something. I want to see if I can find this. I did have a video that I want to share. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. Okay, yeah, here you go. Here you go. Now, mind you, here they are. This is what happens if you get some quote-unquote bounty hunters involved. And I don't know who these cats are. I don't think nobody knows who these cats are. But watch this. Combat vet defends worker being detained without warrant by men in plain clothes with no ID.
Hey, you living? I can videotape. I'm a combat vet. No, I'm a combat vet. Are you a... Then where's this cop? Are you a cop? Are you ICE or a cop? Hey, are you ICE or a cop? Hey, are you living? Call me, yeah, please, call 911. Hey, are you ICE or a cop? Hey, are you living?
There's no answer to that. What do you do in this situation, man? Are you filming? You minding your business? You see two white men jumping on the Hispanic cab, man. They won't identify themselves. There's no badges, no nothing, plain clothes. Do we know if he's being kidnapped? Is he just being victimized, beat down? We don't know. This is what's going on in the country right now. And now ICE is saying, hey, get some bounty hunters. We're going to hire them. We're going to hire whoever. Let me back up. Guy's saying, man, who are you?
Are you ICE or a cop? Hey, are you living? Call me, yeah, please, call 911. Hey, are you ICE or a cop? Hey, are you living?
Gentlemen, you need to identify yourself.
Hey, are you ICE or a cop? You could be. Hey, are you living? Are you ICE or a cop? Hey, are you living? Are you ICE or a cop? Hey, are you living? Hey, look at their face. Are you ICE or a fucking cop? Are you ICE or a fucking cop? Oh, really? You're gonna fucking tase them? I got this on video. I'm a combat vet. I'm an Afghanistan combat vet. I got this on video. You won't even identify yourself.
Gentlemen, who are you with?
Who are you with?
Federal agents.
Who? ICE? Wow, you better not fucking tase them. Call the cops.
I need to see that.
Fucking pieces of shit. Look at their fucking faces. Can't even identify themselves. Pieces of fucking shit. Racist little bastards. You fucking piece of... You fucking... Don't you touch me, I'll knock you the fuck out. I'm a combat vet. Afghanistan combat vet. Hey, what a fucking... We're following you, you fucking pieces of shit. Fucking pieces of shit.
Now he's doing a lot of extra with the mouth, so I'm gonna stop it there. But this is what they're engaging in, and this is what is coming down the pipeline. Is they're talking about how they want to get ICE on the case now, right? I mean, here they are, bounty hunters. What do you do in that scenario, man? You seeing two white men, man, just jump in this cab, man, and no identity, no ID. You ain't see a badge, uniform, nothing. There's reports of people running around impersonating ICE. Matter of fact, man, we were just talking last weekend. Alada had a neighbor of his, not a neighbor of his, but a couple blocks away from him. ICE raids. Northern Kingdom Brothers' house. No ID, no nothing, man. Stormed the house, raided the house. Didn't take him. Robbed his house. They fled out. The cat says, they took my money. They took my money. His whole life savings he had in the house. Somebody told them the guy got some bread in the house. They're over here robbing people, man. They ain't even. It's wild. How do you deal with that? They had to be impersonating that. Then they said the police came and made a report, and they was acting like nothing was wrong. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement is considering hiring private bounty hunters to locate immigrants across the country, according to a procurement document reviewed by The Intercept. Under the plan, bounty hunters may receive, quote, monetary bonuses, depending on how successfully they track down their targets and how many immigrants they then report to ICE. According to the document, which solicits information from interested contractors for a potentially forthcoming contract opportunity, companies hired by ICE will be given bundles of information on 10,000 immigrants at a time to locate, with further assignments provided in increments of 10,000 up to 1 million. Can you imagine? They said to track down their targets by the thousands. They're implementing this. And you just seen what happened in the store. Get ready, y'all. That's why I said declaring war on blacks and browns. Job cuts in October hit the highest level for the month in 22 years. Did you hear that? This is the worst jobs have been and lack thereof in 22 years. And Trump saying that the economy is fine. Everything is good. Yeah, everything's going according to plan. Just read between the lines, if you will. Okay. Devastated Ted Cruz issues a dire warning of looming disaster for the Republicans. Ted Cruz is now nervous. A rattled Ted Cruz smeared Zoran Mamdani as a jihadist and gave him a grim forecast for the future of the GOP and emotional Fox News appearance. He's having a meltdown. Ted Cruz is having a complete meltdown, man. Warning to the Republicans, saying it's over. They're coming in. We're losing a grip. Mind you, this is only less than a year into Agent Orange's reign. He still got 3 more years, and they already in a panic and in a frenzy. Appearing on Hannity the day after Democrats swept key races across the country, including Mamdani's landslide win as mayor of New York City, the Texas senator didn't sugarcoat his assessment. Look, last night was a disaster, Cruz said flatly. Quote, it was an electoral blowout. The results in New Jersey were disastrous. The results in Virginia were terrible. The results in New York, Comrade Mamdani is the face of the Democrat Party. The comment came after Sean Hannity opened Wednesday's segment by lamenting what he called, quote, a disaster of a night for conservatives. My New York friends are officially depressed and scared, Hannity said, referring to the election of Mamdani, a 34-year-old Democrat socialist who will be New York City's first Muslim mayor. They're having complete meltdowns, man. This is why you can see an engagement of a civil war brewing, because they're Demo-Cribs is riding high now after this vote. Female and male Democrats are now taking over, getting control back over cities, right? Now they're concerned because a Muslim is running New York. But is he really a Muslim when he's celebrating in gay bars? see the deception? They're acting like he's full blown jihadist, but meanwhile he's partying in gay bars. Come on, man. This is all to hype up and get them, the buck two Edomites out there. Oh boy, that Muslim taking over New York City. We gotta get over there. That's what they're trying to do. Not here, not in our beloved state of wherever, red state. They're on guard now. Look at this. Labor Department social media campaign depicts a white male workforce. Oh, this is how they're gonna make America great again. The Labor Department now is pushing pro-white propaganda. This is fact. This is real. This is their social media. They posted this. Look at Build America Future. I don't see near brown and black face over here. Make America skilled again. Build your homeland future. Build your homeland future. Your nation needs you, white man. America workers first. Who's America worker? Oh, the white man. We get it first. See that? Remember, even Charlie Kirk was talking about how black women were, he was questioning their intelligence to whether they could hold higher positions in government and authority and judicial systems and all of that. Remember, he was saying if I hopped on a plane and I seen a black pilot, I'd have reservations. So he said, I know those jobs belong to white people. And I don't get that. A year ago, the Labor Department's social media messaging focused heavily on portraying a diverse assortment of employees and laborers, both in gender and race. Well, that was the DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. They used to do that. Now, when Doge came in, got rid of that. Now they said, okay, well, you come on in, and what's the new format? What's the new renaissance, if you will? This is modern day Renaissance. Remember, they did that in the 15th, 14th century, the Renaissance period, where they did iconoclasm and changed all the dark skinned images of the black nobility in Europe and in Eastern and Western Europe. The Dark Ages, and they came in and said, "No, let's change it all white now." They're doing that right now. The agencies made a dramatic shift during the Trump administration, launching a social media campaign with illustrations that appear to be AI generated and that almost exclusively feature white men, part of an effort to promote the hiring of American citizens over foreign workers. Art experts and historians say the images mimic the styles of artist Norman Rockwell or historical government propaganda, including posters from New Deal era America and fascist Europe. The campaign has drawn scrutiny, with critics saying it's not realistically portraying the diversity of the country's workforce and is sending messages that feel exclusionary, given that white men make up a minority of the workforce. There you go. Modern day Renaissance era art with the projection of the futures of America is all white. State of the Union, nearly 2/3 of young Americans have considered moving abroad. Look, 3 out of 4 admit they're more stressed about the nation's future than before. Look, America's in dire straits, man. The young future, the young life is out here saying, I don't know if I like this place anymore. I'm trying to get up out of here. 63% of young adults, 18 to 34 ages, and 53% of the parents have considered leaving the U.S. due to the state of the nation. Half of all adults report signs of loneliness, while 69% say they needed more emotional support this year than they received. AI anxiety nearly doubled among students, 78%, up from 45%. 75% of Americans are more stressed about the country's future than before, with political division tied to isolation, physical symptoms, and daily struggles. Many of this place is in dire straits. You wondering where is the downfall? When's the end of America and the prestige that America once had is already here. It's emanating through the spirit of the people, and the statistics don't lie. Jay-Z said numbers lie, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. The confidence in this place is dwindling, man. right? And that's scriptural as well. Was there a terror attack also at a U.S. U.S. air base? Multiple people fall ill after a suspicious package was opened at a U.S. base. Multiple people fell ill, and an investigation was underway after a suspicious package was delivered to a military base near Washington on Thursday. Joint Base Andrews confirmed in a statement that parts of the Maryland site were evacuated after the, quote, suspicious package was opened. The base is used regularly for presidential flights. As a precaution, the building and connecting building were evacuated, the statement said, according to the broadcaster of CNN. Joint Base Andrews first responders were dispatched to the scene, determined there were no immediate threats, and have turned the scene over to official special investigation. So no immediate threats, but meanwhile, people are leaving sick after they touched or inhaled some white substance that they, had. Oops, lucky. That they found. So a possible terror attack happened as well that they're kind of keeping under wraps and being quiet about. Because if you got a suspicious package and it's being sent to a U.S. base where presidential flights is going, how is that not major news? And they're talking about a possible terror attack happening. Back in the day, they used to talk about the anthrax attacks where they would send the anthrax through the mail. If y'all remember that, here they got this particular thing jump off, man. America quite possibly could have had a terror attack jump off. The confidence of this place is being rooted out and is being invaded by people having less confidence in the standard of America, man, the strength behind America. I mean, this place is going down the drain fast. Look at this. The MAGA detention centers. ICE considers buying large warehouses to hold immigrants. Remember back in the day, there was always the rumors about, empty Walmarts and all this other stuff. Like, yeah. Now they're coming clean. They're talking about big warehouses now. Here they're mentioning Amazon. Look at this. The Trump administration is exploring buying warehouses that were designed for clients like Amazon and retrofitting them as detention facilities for immigrants before they are deported. A move that would vastly expand the government's detention capacity, according to a Homeland Security Department official and White House official. So, the talk of them using warehouses, empty, Walmart facilities and things like that. Now they're coming clean saying, oh yeah, we definitely are talking about converting those into detention centers and camps, right? So the gloves is off, man. He knows the time is short. He's gonna have enmity with the woman. He's saying, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna let it be known. Oh, it's because of immigration. Yeah, right. Okay. It always starts there. And that we've seen they've transformed that into it's about criminal behavior. We want the bad guys. Well, I thought you want the bad guys are the immigrants. And now you don't want them. You want everybody. Men, women, children. Oh, and also we're going to get troops on the streets and we're going to run all through your neighborhoods and everywhere else. And we're getting bounty hunters on the payroll too. So they get into detention centers, the quote unquote camps situated. We know the alligator Alcatraz and all the, we've seen the funding for FEMA camps to begin set up all across the country. Now they're getting the warehouses prepared. It's all bad news. Lastly, man, I'd be remiss if I didn't look at this. And I'm not going to spend too much time on it, man. This is why Kanye, he's back being Kanye with me. He's all over the place, man. Kanye wants Machilla. Kanye West meets Rabbi Pinto, rapper who released, quote, Hail Hitler song, blames his anti-Semitism on a bipolar disorder. So you trying to tell me, Kanye, that when you was on your rampage talking about we're the true Jews, you're a Hebrew, that you was being bipolar then? What are you saying about the rest of us? When you was online and you was showing everybody all the conglomerate companies that the small hat GMO AstroTurf people owned, that was being bipolar. When you was talking facts about Christ being black, that was bipolar. I mean, these dudes, man, get compromised, and it's just unbelievable. I think this is him being bipolar. Right now, he's being bipolar, going to a small hat demon, begging for forgiveness and saying, I'm sorry. Maybe it's, maybe the child support, the money's running dry, they cancel Puma deal. I don't know. All I know is this guy is double-minded. He's unstable. He can say he's off his meds or whatever the case may be, but you came out with plenty of facts and was speaking truth at one point. And now you're saying that it's because you were mentally unstable and off your meds. Who got to this guy, man? Who got back into his ear and told him, man, you better go bow down, man, or else? Maybe he's fearful of, assassination. I don't know. But look at this. And it's not even, it's to who he's also dealing with. Look at this. In a totally bizarre meeting with Rabbi Yoshiyahu Yosef Pinto, rapper Kanye West, who has made countless blatantly anti-S-word statements, including releasing a song called Double H, I'm going to just leave it at that, apologized for his actions, claiming that it was due to his suffering from bipolar disorder. In 2010, YWN reported that Pinto met with NBA player LeBron James on a yacht where he paid Pinto a staggering 6 figures to give him, quote, business advice. Do you see who these guys are going to on the low? 2010, LeBron goes to this guy for, quote, business advice. This is some dark underworld, bottom feeding connections that these jakes, man, is over here making side deals with the devil for success, entrepreneurship, quote unquote advice, to try to stay in the limelight and to further their careers. These are the guys they sitting back meeting with. Look at this. Pinto later did a year in prison and has since rebranded himself as a, quote, a major knuckleball living in Manhattan. Now, the guy that they're going to has already done jail time for corruption, bribery. This guy's a damn criminal. Now, why are they over here making deals with and going to apologizing to him? Look at it. Rabbi Pinto served 10 months in an Israeli prison, which was part of a plea bargain agreement in a bribery trial. It is interesting to note that Pinto initially stated, quote, if I have bribed anyone, I'm willing to remove my fedora, and from now on, I am not a Rav. A short time later, he pled guilty to bribery and was sentenced to prison. So clearly, after he said that he hasn't bribed anybody, he got found guilty, did time. He said he was going to remove himself from being a rabbi and he would no longer hold that office anymore. But has he done that? No, he went right back saying he's still Rabbi Pinto and carrying on as he has connections with bribery and did prison time. And what type of damn control and influence does this guy have, man, over Negroes like Kanye and LeBron? We'll never know, because I'll never have a sit down with this dude. But Kanye, man, says that it was this bipolar reason that made the connections of him being Israelite, and he needs to go to repent to Rabbi Pinto, man, and the rest of the small hat GMO mutants, man. Unbelievable stuff that's going on in the world, y'all, man. So listen, need everybody, man. If I move too fast, too much going on, man, double back, man. Go back over this information, man. Do your own research. Make sure that you're committing yourself to your own due diligence, because war has been declared, man. You see it already globally. He's declaring war on all these brown nations, black nations. The ones that he's fake making peace with is the two white folks going at each other, the Russians and the Ukrainians, and he's not even doing a good job with that. But one thing's for sure, he's starting wars with blacks and browns, not peace. He's initiating warfare and disruption and removing the peace from our people here right now. So the writing is on the wall, y'all. That's it for your brother, man. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh Shai. We got a closing Shabbat class, man. We'll be having our closing Sabbath classes at 3:10, 3:15, moving forward. All right. So make sure you check your notifications. I know we normally do 4 o'clock. We're doing a little earlier now because we try to stay in sync with the Sabbath. You know, if we're having a Sabbath class, it really isn't beneficial or isn't really holding true to the standard of having a set apart class time. We try to keep within the framework of the Sabbath. If we start our Sabbath class at 4 o'clock and the Sabbath is over within an hour, and we got class going on till 6 o'clock, and we're saying Shabbat, so you know the Sabbath is over. People is eligible to go out, buy, sell, eat, cook, do whatever, as we're still saying it's a Sabbath, and that's no shot to anybody. That's just how we operate. So we're going to be having our closing class now at about 3 o'clock and 3:15. So Lord willing, we'll see y'all then. Make sure your notifications is lit so you're not looking for us at our normal time at 4 o'clock, 4:15. We're trying to scale back an hour as well. So just moving with the time, y'all. No big deal. All right. So with that, I'm gonna bid everybody shalom, and Lord willing, see y'all in the near future.